Good afternoon, Shed from Shed All Over the Page. I am working on today my 1951 Farmall Cub. The issue I had was it was not wanting to start. It was just rackety, rackety, rackety. It knew it was getting fuel, but just would not start. So I came in. The system is 6-volt system. So you got power, it comes into an ignition coil, goes down to a distributor cap, and you've got points in there. So I cleaned up all the contacts, checked the points, checked the point gap, pulled all the plugs, made sure they were all clean. And I've got one of those inline devices that you can plug in and it'll show it's got a spark. Hold on a second, I'll show you that tool. And this little tool, you plug one end to the spark plug wire and then put that on the spark plug, and you'll get the flashing in here inside this glass that you can see if you're getting a spark through the system. I was getting nothing. I went through, like I said, all the contacts, made sure everything was clean. So I went online and looked, found a procedure for testing the coil. One part tested clean. The other one I was off on the adjustment. I'm not going to get into it. I was off, and it looked like the internal was messing up. Go online, look up local AutoZone. Kid you not. Called up, said, hey, I need a 6-volt coil, ignition coil for a Farmall Cub. The guy goes stand by, calls me back, says, or gets back on and says, yeah, I've got one there, $17.99. Well, for me, it's about, 12, 13 miles to the town. So I drive to town, get in line. There's one guy working the checkout. And at one point, there was 5 people standing in line with customers coming in, turning around, and just going right back out the door. Now, the guy behind the register at some point should have said, hey, need some help up front. I'm about 5 deep. So we're all standing around, and this guy's not doing anything. And I see a guy, and I walked over to him and said, hey, buddy. I said, we're about 5 deep over here. You mind coming over here? He's like, well, I'm putting batteries up. Well, he stopped putting batteries up, came over there to help me, looks it up. And, of course, what happens, the computer said they had one. And the guy should have went and looked, and he didn't. So I drive all the way to AutoZone, and they don't have one. Leave there, go to Advance Auto. Advance Auto, the lady goes, you got a part number? And I went, no. I said, you can't look up a 6-volt ignition coil? Now, that's kind of goofy. I can look it up on my phone sitting in the parking lot, but their search goes through the vehicles. You have to do it through the vehicle. So I go out to the parking lot, get my cell phone, look up, get them a part number, walk back inside, give them the part number. They look it up. They have one in stock. Lady even was polite enough. She knocked a little off since I had to do some of the work. They get the part, bring over, you open it up. It's a box that is supposed to have a 6-volt coil in it. It has a 12-volt coil. All right, so there's 2 down. Then I drive up the road to my Pioneer Auto Parts. They're somehow or the other, they're like local guys that have a deal kind of, I think, with O'Reilly's. Tell him what I need. This guy like turns around, walks 5 feet, picks it up, sets it on the counter. Now, it's a couple of bucks more, but that's okay. The service was so much better. Long story short, as I get back and I start looking everything over, this wire here is connected okay, but I'm not sure, so I go ahead and replace it. I don't like the end I've got here, but that's one I had, so I replace it. Look at the distributor cap. This is where people look at you and go, man, you're a hoarder. Well, I'm not a hoarder. I was raised by people that were born during the Great Depression, and I don't, just hoard everything I got. It's got a potential use. I kept my old distributor cap, which was probably the one that came on this thing. Look, compare the distributor cap, the rotor buttons, clean them up, put them on there, fires up on first crank. And you're like, wow. So now I've got a coil that I don't know if he'll let me bring it back because I never hooked it up, but I think what I'm going to do is just hoard it and keep it, since I have 2 tractors that run on 6 volt, and in a year from now it'll be more expensive than it is, and at some point you won't be able to get them. Kind of a long story around about what it takes this day and age just to get something accomplished. Shed, off page.